Now I have a copy of rePhase here. Over on measurement, I'm going to import file, locate my excess phase files that I just saved, grab the left one and open it. Okay, now I have that data loaded over here. The next thing I'm going to do is load in my magnitude banks and reconstruct the frequency response correction here. So on bank 1, go to Tools, Import REW Filter Settings. Go to your magnitude banks folder, grab magnitude left bank 1, open it. Now I like to organize these by ascending frequency so they go from left to right like they do up here on the graph. And then this, take note of this, this is minimum phase. Okay, leave that there. For bank 2, go to Tools, Import REW Filter Settings, load the left channel bank 2 this time. All right, organize them. This one, we're going to change to linear phase. Now, bank 3. This is the one that gets a little tricky. Import REW filter settings one more time. Magnitude L bank 3 this time. Open it. And we will organize them by ascending frequency. Now here, take a look at these. These particular filters are all like 99 down here, 115, 136, and 389. These are all below 500 hertz. As a matter of fact, they're all below 400 hertz, which is the region that we were working on the group delays. This particular case allows me to simply leave it minimum phase. Okay, if there were any adjustments that were made in this filter bank above that region of 400 to 500 hertz, I would have to split this into 2 more banks, right? So I would load these into bank 3. I would bypass all of the ones that are above 500, say, and leave this on minimum phase. Then I'd go into bank 4. I would load the third bank a second time, and in this one, I would do the opposite. I would bypass all of the ones below 500 and change it to linear phase here. In this particular case, I don't need to do it. I might have to do it on the right side, so you might actually get an example of that. But for now, since all of these changes are below that 400 to 500 hertz region, I'm just going to simply leave this minimum phase. This is 65536. Change this to Blackman-Harris. Change this to 96K. Change this to 64 bits mono. This should be your name, whatever you want to name this. Tutorial left. I'm just going to leave it like that. Tutorial left. Here, this is the directory you want to save your filter to. So I'm just going to select my Kingston drive. And tutorial 2 here, I'm going to call this correction. So save that to the correction folder. Again, I set all these folders up ahead of time. Now this is the filter. We have our excess phase data over here from the left side. Our filter banks, our left filter banks have all been loaded, and the third bank has been checked for those frequency zones. Okay, this is ready to go. These settings being what they are is good. I'm going to hit generate. And then I can simply save these settings and it will give me the same name as my filter. All right, now I have another version of rePhase here. This time I'm simply going to go to measurement, load in my right excess phase data this time, go to my paragraphic gain EQ once again, and then I'm going to load the first bank. So magnitude banks, magnitude R bank 1. Organize these. leave this minimum phase. Bank 2. Import bank 2. Change this to linear. This one always gets linear because it's from 500 up. Change this one to linear phase. Organize bank 3. Load bank 3 this time. Let's see. Here we have actually we have 2, 3, 4 measurements here. Okay, so here we have an example of that I'm going to be able to show you. This one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one. This one's actually at 500, so I have the option of leaving it in or whatever. But I have 4 EQ adjustments over here that are above 500. They're in the linear phase zone. So watch what I'm going to do. I have this loaded here. I'm going to bank 4. I'm going to load it a second time. Okay? Basically, I have 2 banks that have exactly the same data in them. All right? So in bank 3, I am simply going to bypass these top ones. And I'll just bypass this one because it's pretty much right at 500. So I'm only keeping the ones that are below, right? So these. These, since they're below 500, they keep minimum phase. Now, in this version, I am going to bypass the opposite ones, change this to linear phase, okay? So basically everything from 500 and up is linear. Everything from 500 down is minimum. Does that make sense? Type in these settings again, 65536, Blackman-Harris, 96K. This is 64 bits mono. Change this to the name that you need it to be. So in my case, it's tutorial right. And then this is your location, right? So my Kingston, here, here, and correction folder. All right, so just to recap, we have the 3 banks loaded into 4 actually. We have the third bank with these bypassed. The lower ones are active. It's on minimum phase. The top one, these are bypassed. The top ones are active and they are linear phase. Okay, so bank 1, minimum, because everything in bank 1 is below 500. Bank 2 is linear because everything in this bank is above 500. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Generate your filter. Save your rephase data. Go back to Room EQ Wizard. Now what we want to do is import impulse response here. Correction folder. We grab tutorial left. We go import impulse response, grab tutorial right. These are our 2 filters, okay? So go to File, Export, and we're going to export impulse response as wave. It's this 4th one down right here. Change this to stereo. Make sure that the left filter is in the left channel and that the right filter is in the right channel. Okay, make sure this is whatever your sample rate needs to be. Leave these 2 unchecked. And these, you can export both of them if you want. You have to do one at a time. But export them both. And then we'll put them into the filters folder. But before we do that, we're simply going to say tutorial stereo filter. All right, so put them into the filters folder. Export one more time. This needs to be left I'm going to export min phase version this time. Say okay. Take this name and just identify it. Save that. So now I have my two filters and they are ready to go.